Ladies and gentlemen, I wonder if I might ask you to rise. Please be seated. President Vaccarino, Dean Stone, honored guests of the university, fellow veterinarians, student veterinarians, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome to the university on such a beautiful day in September. If we haven't met, my name is Peter Conlon and I am the Associate Dean of Students at the Ontario Veterinary College. And I'm very pleased to welcome all of you to this ceremony and celebration that recognizes the point at which the class of OVC 2018, the Ivory Owls, formally joins the veterinary profession as our student veterinarian colleagues. The journey that they began at OVC just 26 days ago, might seem a little longer maybe, will reach a major milestone one afternoon in the week of June the 10th, 2018. Although we don't know exactly which afternoon as yet, when, if everybody, they and us, have done our jobs correctly between now and then, they will each receive the degree of Doctor of Veterinary Medicine. So I would, at some point, make sure you block off that week in your daytimers, because it will be a great celebration. You Ivory Owls have now joined an unbroken chain of more than 10,000 women and men who have been students at OVC since our founding in 1862 in Toronto. And you, family members, friends, and veterinary mentors, are joining the hundreds of thousands of people who have helped each of them towards their goal. And I sincerely thank each of you in this hall, those of you who are watching us by webcast, and the many others who would want to be here today, all now members of the larger OVC family, for all that you've done thus far and all that I know you're going to continue to do in support of your student veterinarian. Here today to bring greetings and welcomes to you are the Minister of Education, who is also a member of the Provincial Parliament, the President and Vice Chancellor of the University of Guelph, the Dean of the Veterinary College, leaders of the organized veterinary profession, and our keynote speaker, Deputy Minister Dr. Deb Stark. Although Liz Sandals needs no introduction to many of us at the University of Guelph, we want to share our delight at having her here today. Premier Kathleen Wynne appointed Liz Sandals as Minister of Education in February of 2013. Prior to that appointment, she had served as the Parliamentary Assistant to the Ministers of Health and Long-Term Care, Transportation, Education, Government Services, and Community Safety and Correctional Services. She led the government's Safe Schools Action Team and served on the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, the Select Committee on Mental Health and Addictions, and the Treasury Board. Ms. Sandals is an esteemed alumna and very good friend of the university and has worked tirelessly for education throughout her career. And we warmly welcome her here today. Ms. Sandals.
Thank you, Peter, and welcome everybody on behalf of the Government of Ontario, and congratulations. I know that for some of you, you did biomedical science or some other undergraduate studies here at University of Guelph before you entered OVC. For others of you, This may be your first adventure on the University of Guelph campus. You've come to us from another school somewhere, but to everyone, congratulations. I know what hard work you have done so far to get yourself admitted to OVC, because it is indeed a very competitive process. So you already are due great congratulations for being in this select group, the Ivory Owls. I should perhaps explain that the Minister of Education does elementary and secondary. I'm not actually the Minister of Training Colleges and Universities. So on behalf of my colleague, Minister Reza Maridi, congratulations and welcome to you too. But, and I'd like to speak a little bit. I thought, I'm not a veterinarian. Almost everybody on this platform, not everybody, but the majority of people on this platform are veterinarians, and we'll speak to you about the profession. The closest I come is I'm married to a veterinarian. So my only sort of professional advice is to those of you who are currently or sometime to become the partners of veterinarians, is arrange the bedroom so that the phone is on the veterinarian side of the bed, so that when it rings in the middle of the night, the veterinarian has to answer it, not you. So that's my professional advice. But I thought maybe I would talk a little bit about the importance of veterinary medicine, or the evolution of veterinary medicine and its impact in Ontario. OVC is actually the University of Guelph's oldest college, which you've probably been told already. It actually started in downtown Toronto, which is quite odd when you think about it. It always struck me as rather odd. But you need to think back to the beginning of veterinary medicine in Ontario. And it goes back so far that transportation was related to horses. So you really did want to think about veterinary medicine in downtown Toronto because it was important to keep the horses healthy. Essentially, I suppose in some ways, it was almost like the veterinarians were playing somewhat the role of today's auto mechanic. You had to keep the engine going, as it were. Eventually, obviously, veterinarians evolved beyond that, and veterinary medicine came to the campus here in Guelph, because we had this evolution into it truly becoming a health profession, a medical profession. And we're then talking about the importance of food animal medicine. And even today, agriculture and food is the second biggest sector in the Ontario economy. And I'm sure Dr. Stark will want to talk about that. But the importance of veterinary medicine to ensuring not just the health of food animals, but also the food quality in terms of, can the meat pass inspection here in Canada? And equally importantly, is the meat available for export, which today is a totally non-trivial issue, because there are very, very strict rules around meat being able to go into the export market. And veterinarians play a very significant role in that. And of course, what has happened over the years is that the profession has expanded into largely dealing with companion animals. I was actually in a school yesterday morning in Sudbury, and there was this lovely dog, and he was a therapy dog, and he came in every Friday to work with the children who are ASD, autism spectrum disorder. So the whole role of companion animals in society has dramatically changed, and people just take it for granted now that there will be a veterinarian in their community to take care of their pets. Then we go on to something like that Dr. Stone likes to talk about, which is the whole impact of the veterinarian profession with respect to public health. And that isn't just animal public health in terms of outbreaks, it's also human public health. Because more and more we're seeing that diseases that impact humans start in animals, and it's this whole area of looking at animal-human, animal crossovers. So the public health aspects of veterinary medicine have been dramatically increased. So you're launching into a profession and into a career which has all sorts of possibilities. And from the perspective of the economy in Ontario, is dramatically important to the proper functioning of the province of Ontario. So congratulations and best of luck. Have a great 4 years.
Thank you very much, Liz. Dr. Franco Vaccarino has already had a distinguished academic career as a scholar, educator, and accomplished administrator with an entrepreneurial spirit, a powerful sense of community, and a profound commitment to societal engagement. Most recently, he has served as principal of the University of Toronto at Scarborough and vice president at the University of Toronto until his appointment this year as the 8th president and vice chancellor of the University of Guelph. During his tenure at U of T, he helped the UTSC to grow in size and stature, drawing faculty and students to emerging areas of study and innovative experiential learning opportunities. He also led a strategic planning process that provided a strong framework for campus planning that helped position that institution as a key intellectual and cultural hub in the Eastern TA. Dr. Vaccarino is a neuropsychologist, and he has been the executive vice president of programs and the vice president of research at the Center for Addiction and Mental Health, and vice president and director of research at the Clark Institute of Psychiatry, both in Toronto. This is a very busy day for the president, as his installation will take place later today in this very hall. So we are very grateful that he's here today to welcome all of you. Dr. Vaccarino.
Well, thank you very much, Peter, for that kind introduction. Greetings as the new president and vice chancellor of the University of Guelph, or the new guy, as I like to refer myself to my colleagues and students. It's great to be here, and let me kick it off by just saying congratulations to the incoming class. I had a chance to chat with some of the students on my way in, and the future looks very, very bright indeed. Congratulations to all of you. It is my pleasure to officially welcome the OVC class of 2018, as we've heard, the Ivory Owls. I love that name, by the way, to the University of Guelph and to the veterinary profession. The University of Guelph is not only known for its outstanding veterinary program, it's also a top-rated comprehensive university in Canada. You will find enriching activities both in and outside the classroom. University of Guelph also has a very strong community spirit, and I encourage you to become involved in both the university and the city of Guelph. Now, just like you, as you've heard, I'm in a new role, and in fact, as you've also heard, I will be officially installed this afternoon. So all sorts of things on the go for me today, but I did want to say how important it was for me to be here. The Ontario Veterinary College represents a key pillar in our universities, and it was certainly important for me to share in your own celebration and welcome today. I have to tell you how impressed that all of you have such varied experiences in animal health. I'm just blown away by the quality of the students and the background of the students here. Experiences in animal health industries such as veterinary practices, companies, government agencies, and that 85% of you already have a Bachelor of Science degree, with some even having graduate degrees. As DVM students, you're starting a professional degree program, and after your graduation 4 years from now, you will be eligible for your licensing exam and begin the exciting work of a veterinarian. Your chosen career will provide countless opportunities to contribute to animal and to human health, as well as the health of the environment and communities. It really is an exciting and evolving field, not just clinically, but societally. And Minister Sandals touched on some of those points, and I just want to underline the important not only practical role that you will play in terms of government regulations and our food and agriculture system meeting the requirements that it needs to meet, but also at a broader level societally. Your profession represents a key node in that triangle between human health, animal health, and plant health. And your role, your advice, and the good work that you will be doing in the years to come will be extremely valuable, not just to the university and to the province, but society in general. As the university celebrates our 50th anniversary, we recognize how much the University of Guelph and OVC contributes to the quality of life in our province. And there was a recently released economic impact report which demonstrates the significant impact of OVC on Ontario's economic vitality. And I just want to throw out a few numbers so you realize and appreciate the scope of the work that you are doing. The OVC directly contributes more than $125 million to Ontario's economy each year and generates over 800 new jobs annually. Almost 1/3 of veterinarians educated in Canada graduate from the OVC, and most of them stay in Ontario. Many of these graduates, which will include you in 4 years, go to work for and establish private businesses with an annual economic impact of $1.3 billion to this province. In addition, OVC-trained veterinarians support Ontario's meat, dairy, poultry, and egg industries, a sector worth about $20 billion, and we heard Minister Sandals underline the important economic impact as well. And it also generates some 78,000 jobs, that sector. They oversee regulatory and protocol standards, safeguard against diseases, and provide essential veterinary services. The OVC and the University of Guelph also have very strong ties to the agriculture and agri-food industry. Since 1997, the university has had an enhanced partnership with the Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, what we know as OMAFRA, including our veterinary clinical education program. So by investing in innovative research and education, the University of Guelph and OMAFRA support the health, well-being of prosperity for Ontarians and for our animals. OVC also provides an absolutely vital link in public health, with more than 60% of emerging infectious diseases originating in animals. OVC researchers are working closely with colleagues across the university and beyond to tackle these diseases from both a human and an animal perspective. And of course, I don't need to remind you, particularly our new student veterinarians and their families, a major focus of OVC and the university's mandate is teaching and learning. The OVC curriculum is outcome-based, and you'll have many opportunities for hands-on experiential learning. And that piece is so important because experiential learning is a key part of bringing the knowledge and the emerging knowledge that you will learn to life and into action. Students, you have chosen a profession that will provide you with vast opportunities in the years ahead. I look forward to watching your success over the next 4 years. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Canadian Veterinary Medical Association is the national voice for the veterinary profession in Canada and is dedicated to serving and representing the veterinarians of this country. Dr. Jim Fairless, who was president of the CVMA from 2012 to 2013, is a 1980 OVC graduate and therefore my classmate in, although others here might dispute it, I'd say the best OVC class of the last century anyway. Yeah, boy, I feel old when I say that. He was in private practice after graduation with an emphasis on food animal production medicine for many years. He spent 2 years in an international development project in China. And for the past 10 years, Dr. Fairless has been the client services veterinarian at the Animal Health Laboratory, University of Guelph, which is located within OVC. Dr. Fairless has a continued strong interest in the veterinary profession at a national level, and particularly the well-being of its members. We're very pleased he is here to welcome our profession's newest members. Dr. Fairless.
President Vaccarino, distinguished platform guests, members of OVC, family, friends, significant others, and especially you, the student veterinarians of the class of 2018. I take 2018 and I take 1980, and it's a long way in between. And you've got 4 years ahead of you here, and it's going to go really quick. I can tell you that for sure, because I was just trying to reminisce about some of my experiences at school, and some of them are fairly fleeting now as I get onward in my career. I am honored to bring the class of 2018. Peter, did we have a mascot? We did not. I didn't think so. I'm not sure when that tradition started, but we had the class of 80. If you just ask around OVC, we're infamous or famous or whatever for other things. So I won't go into those. I bring you greetings from the Canadian Veterinary Medical Association. And I would also like to extend these greetings to faculty and staff of OVC, and to congratulate all parents, grandparents, significant others, family members present for getting these future veterinarians this far. And as Liz mentioned, she had some words of advice. I've got a little bit more here. Family members, words of wisdom. When your sons or daughters come home, or at any time, they're going to be starting to talk at the dinner table about things you might not want discussed at the dinner table. They're going to take it for granted and not really realize what they're talking about. And my wife reminded me of this countless times as I discussed some of the things I was doing. So just be forewarned on that. As Peter, I'm Jim Fairless, local veterinarian. I've had lots of experience in private practice in food animal medicine. I got to do some international development, and now back here at OVC. And you starting out in your career here probably have some idea of where you want to go. I had no idea I was going to be in China for 2 years, nor back at OVC. When we left, and I talked to Peter about this as well, when we left OVC, we didn't think we'd darken its doors again. Here we are, and it's a great college. As you're well aware, this practice, or this profession is very diverse. We cover all animal species, except for one, humans, as well as all aspects of veterinary medicine, from private practice to research, public health, disease surveillance, animal welfare, advocacy, food hygiene, to name a few. Now, you're going to think you're going to be dealing with animals all your career, but I'm going to disagree with that a little bit, because to affect change, you're going to have to deal with the humans associated with those animals, with the people. So it becomes an excellent time to develop your people skills as well, and try to affect change. Just looking at some of the careers of the distinguished guests here, you have the opportunity to, in your schooling here, to get the background to do pretty well anything you want. The doors are wide open. And the Canadian Veterinary Medical Association is an advocate for all veterinarians in Canada. We are the voice of Canadian veterinarians from Atlantic to Pacific, nationally and internationally. At CVMA, we have 3 priorities. Number 1, an advocate for animal welfare, and in your 4 years here and beyond, you'll be discussing lots about that. Priority number 2 is national veterinary issues to deal with animal health, public health, ecosystem health, food safety. One particular topic that's in the news these days is antimicrobial stewardship, and you people will be involved in that right from the start here in your career. Priority number 3 is to achieve a state of work-life balance through successful career and balanced life. This last priority underpins careers of every veterinarian and truly all Canadians. As veterinary students, you are members of the CVMA, and as I look around the room today, I'm excited to know that as you move from semester to semester in your career paths, you will be part of one strong voice for the profession. I'd like to take a short moment now to introduce you to your students of the CVMA representative. Ashley Lamond is here. And Ashley will be able to answer any of your questions regarding the CVMA, and she will be your voice at all SCVMA committee meetings this year. I'd also like to introduce Dr. Michelle Guerin from OVC, who is one of the 2 representatives on CVMA Council from the veterinary colleges, providing input to the CVMA Council. You've all been selected because of your determination, your capacity to learn, and your love of animals. You could not have chosen a better institution than OVC, of course, with everything that has been mentioned before. In the coming years, you will be faced with many challenges, but with persistence, work, and cooperation, you will succeed. You need to remember you can be successful in many different aspects of veterinary medicine, as I mentioned. I challenge you to be bold and explore a new field of practice that you have never been exposed to before. This is your beginning, and the CVMA is here with you. I'm going to end in your pockets of your lab coats, and I don't want to, Rob may mention something about this, but there is a quote or note from some alumni, and I happened to read one of them from one of you, and it said, "Work hard, play hard." But let's say not too hard. No, don't play too hard, and don't work too hard either. Beyond, it has to be balanced. And as Peter mentioned, I have had some discussions at the national level about wellness. Truly, you will never be alone. Make sure you remember that. The profession is always behind you wherever you are. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jim. The Ontario Veterinary Medical Association is the organization that represents veterinarians and our interests in the province. And the Ontario Veterinary College Alumni Association links the college with its graduates and is a very strong supporter of OVC and our student veterinarians. Why I mention these 2 groups in the same sentence will become obvious as I introduce our next speaker. Dr. Bob Van Delst is the president of the OVMA and the incoming president of the OVC Alumni Association. Dr. Van Delst graduated from OVC in 1995 and since then has gathered an array of experience in veterinary medicine. He has worked in both mixed animal and small animal practices in rural and urban settings, where he has been an associate veterinarian and a managing veterinary partner. In 2009, Dr. Van Delst completed a credential course in veterinary family practice through the Association of Veterinary Family Practice and the University of California at Davis. During the past 15 years, he has served veterinarians and veterinary health care team members on behalf of Hills Pet Nutrition Canada, where he is currently the National Customer Development Manager. Dr. Van Delst.
Good morning, everyone. So I'd like to begin by extending my congratulations to you, the class of 2018. It's an honor for me to be here today and to welcome you to this great profession. I'm sure that many of you here have dreamt of a career in veterinary medicine for as long as you can remember. And your acceptance into one of the best veterinary colleges signifies that you are, well, being attacked, well on your way to fulfilling that dream. I'm sure it's been a long road getting here, one that's had its challenges for each of you, and you deserve recognition for the hard work and dedication that's earned you entrance into, again, one of the best veterinary colleges in the world. 4 weeks in the first semester, you're already likely consumed with labs, presentations, tests, things like that. You're probably counting down the time until you're done school and can begin your career in veterinary medicine. While 4 years may seem like an eternity, I can tell you from firsthand experience that your time at OVC will be over before you know it. As Peter said, I'm an OVC 1995 graduate, so our color was red, we were the Falcons. I would also share, as Liz Sandals had mentioned, being married to a veterinarian, I also am a veterinarian married to a veterinarian. I wouldn't recommend that for everyone. I can tell you the most notable thing that I know of from OVC 95 is that we managed to graduate 5 couples from within our class. So I'm married to a veterinarian from within my class, and there were 4 other sets. Just something for you to think about. They do still accept men in your classes, so it's still possible. Of course, as mentioned about dinner table conversation, you can appreciate that doesn't just multiply. When you have two veterinarians, it's exponential for the amount of things that aren't necessarily appropriate at dinner conversation. I guess the other thing that I want to share is, again, I came from a dairy farm upbringing, totally had a large MO focus at veterinary school, and I've worked in industry for the last 15 years serving my fellow veterinarians. So very much a left turn in my career. If I could give you one piece of advice, it would be to enjoy your time at OVC. Veterinary school is a unique experience you're only going to have once, and over the next 4 years, you're going to learn valuable skills and knowledge that's going to prepare you for your entry in the veterinary profession, no matter which path you choose. And I'd encourage you to keep your options open and your mind open to many different paths. You'll also forge important friendships and networking connections that will last you for years to come. I encourage you to take advantage of many learning opportunities outside of OVC that are available to you as a student. The Ontario Veterinary Medical Association offers a variety of volunteer opportunities for students to get involved. And as someone who's been an OVMA volunteer for the past 10 years, I can tell you firsthand that it's a rewarding experience. If you relish a leadership role, there's opportunity to become a student representative for the OVMA Board of Directors. If you're an outstanding writer, or even just a pretty good writer, of course, you can use your talents to submit an article, for the OVMA Focus magazine for your fellow veterinarians. We're always looking for submissions that showcase the student's perspective on a variety of issues pertaining to veterinary medicine. For many of you that are also athletically inclined, you can join us for annual fundraising events for the Folly Foundation, which of course is the OVMA's charitable arm, which subsidizes the cost of veterinary care for clients who are in need of financial assistance. We have a golf tournament in August. That's a great opportunity to network with veterinarians and industry professionals. There's a cycling event, the Ride for Farley, in September. And again, it's one where veterinarians, veterinary teams, and pet owners ride up to 160 kilometers during that day to raise funds and awareness for people and pets in need. There's no time like the present to get involved, and with your provincial veterinary, no time like the present to get involved with your provincial veterinary association. And we look forward to being by your side throughout your career to help you achieve your personal and professional goals. This morning, OVMA is pleased to present each of you with a personalized stethoscope as a symbol of your entry into the veterinary profession. We hope that stethoscope will be an essential tool as you learn about veterinary medicine over the next 4 years. When you graduate, we hope that the OVMA stethoscope reminds you that the association is your source and your voice, here to help you make the most of your career as a veterinarian. Now for hat number 2. So on behalf of the OVC Alumni Association, I'd like to extend to you just a welcome to the veterinary profession and invite you to become involved in all parts of it, again, even outside of the immediate schooling. I represent 2 groups that you may choose to invest some energy in, and if you did, it'd be beneficial to the profession, but it'd also be beneficial to you, I absolutely guarantee you. So again, congratulations and all the best to each of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bob. The College of Veterinarians of Ontario is the provincial licensing body for veterinarians that also protects the public's interests. Ms. Jan Robinson is the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of the CBO, a position that she has held since 2012. Ms. Robinson is a recognized leader in the field of profession-based regulation and has more than 20 years of experience providing guidance to policy governance organizations. As a registrar for a regulatory college, Jan values the opportunity to serve the public interest, and her position enables her to bring innovative approaches to the delivery of regulatory programs. As well as providing leadership at the CBO, her current interests include the global mobility of professions and developing organization cultures that support evidence-informed quality outcomes. Ms. Robinson.
Good morning. What an exciting day this is. It's also beautiful out, but it's exciting. President Vaccarino, Dean Stone, honored guests, and most importantly, the Ivory Owls, the OVC class of 2018. It is my pleasure to bring greetings to you from the council and the staff at the College of Veterinarians of Ontario. And as Liz Sandals said as well, I am not a veterinarian. I am a healthcare professional, and I have the distinct privilege of leading the licensing organization for veterinarians here in this province. But I really wanted to begin by saying to you that I am amazed at how special this profession is and how expansive, how important to society, and how pivotal to global health for both animals and humans. And so after almost 3 years at the college, I remain in complete awe of veterinary medicine, and you, each and every one of you, is now on a journey to make this profession that's dynamic and important your own. And beyond that, and we've all been saying this, beyond that, you're an OVC student. This places you in an exemplary category. The OVC is a treasured, respected, and indeed revered educational institution internationally. The college's impact in Ontario and beyond is really clear, and this excellence is what you've embraced. So congratulations to each of you. But I would like to take a moment just to talk about some confusion, because it's very easy. College and college, OVC, CVO, all the same letters, a similar word, but very different functions. And as I said, I represent the licensing body for veterinarians in the province, and we're responsible for establishing public expectations. So public expectations related to the quality and the safety of veterinary medicine. We assure that all veterinarians who are licensed are competent, and we also accredit every facility that a veterinary practice from. The College of Veterinarians is actually a symbol for the profession in terms of public trust. We currently license over 4,300 veterinarians, and we accredit over 2,100 facilities in the province. So during your studies here at OVC, you'll come to link with the CVO, and we look forward to building that positive relationship because it's one that's going to last the length of your career, and we look forward to that. Your presence here indicates you're on a pathway to success. So welcome to the profession. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Jan. Now I'm very pleased to introduce to you our keynote speaker, Dr. Deb Stark. Dr. Stark is from the OVC class of 1982, and she is the Deputy Minister of the Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs. Dr. Stark first joined the ministry as a veterinarian for dairy and beef. She's held several key leadership positions within the ministry since that time, including Assistant Deputy Minister of the Food Safety and Environment Division. From 2005 to 2012, she served as the Chief Veterinary Officer for Ontario, with responsibility for animal health and welfare and food safety programs. She has also served as the Assistant Deputy Minister at the Ministry of Environment, where she led the ministry's Science and Standards Division. Dr. Stark was the 2012 Amethyst Fellow at the Queen's University School of Policy Studies, and she holds an MBA degree from Wilfrid Laurier University in addition to her DVM. We're delighted that she can be here today to give the keynote address to the class of OVC 2018. Dr. Stark.
Thank you very much. It's truly an honor to be here. I was really thrilled to be asked. This is something that was not in place, as I think several people have mentioned, when we went through, which is getting to be quite a long time ago. And I think it's a really important time to have a little conversation. You are not just entering another degree or diploma, you are entering a profession. And for the class of 2018, and for all the people that are here and on the webcam and trying to support you, it's interesting to talk just a little bit about what that means. I was asked to reflect on two things. First of all, my experiences that I can recall when I sat where you are today. As I say, it's a long time ago now, but maybe more importantly, what it means to be a veterinarian. What does it mean to enter the veterinary profession? So I have to tell you, neither one of them are anything more than personal opinion. If it makes you think a little differently, if it's helpful, that's great. And if not, then we'll just all go have lunch and have a great day. So let me start with my recollections. When I can remember being very excited to be in September And starting, I was scared. And I have to tell you, I was still a little surprised that they had still accepted me. Is there anybody out there that's still wondering if you're still going to get that I see some heads nodding. That up in the back, and oops, it's the other D Stark. We didn't really mean it was you. I wouldn't say I was feeling the pressure, but I did. I was the first person in my generation and in my family to go to university. I still come from a farm, heavily agricultural-based family. There was nothing at the dinner table I brought home that they hadn't already addressed in great detail. So there was a lot of excitement in my family about what I had chosen and where I was going to do, which again wasn't necessarily pressure, but certainly some super excited people surrounding me, and totally expected that I would have no problems, and there was nothing to even consider. I was in vet school, I would make it. I was very lucky. I had attended the University of Guelph campus in advance. I do live in Ontario. I was able to go home for Thanksgiving and recharge. A close friend of mine had also been accepted, so I had an ally right beside me in the class. In our class, as in 2018, there are others who are new to the campus and new to the province. I think that must be really nerve-wracking, and it's really got to increase the pressure. So I hope that any of you and all of you that have some stronger social nets, will reach out to those people that maybe don't have that contact. I know technology has changed. There was no Skyping when I was a student. So it's not the same in terms of networks, but physical presence and allies are really important. So again, if you know that classmate that's come a long way to be here and they're sitting by themselves, and they don't have anybody with them today, take an opportunity to just reach out and connect with them. It got a little worse in the second week because I got very ill and I missed the whole week. And I don't know if the experience for you, but my first week was, I felt over and over again, don't fall behind, don't miss a class, you will die if you don't keep up, you cannot handle it. And here I was sick in bed and throwing up, and I thought I was toast. I came back the week after and we had gross anatomy. Do you have gross anatomy now? Yeah, so specimens had been assigned, people had been partnered up. It was an uneven class number. I came back. It was just me and my dog. They kind of stuck me in the corner and said, go to it, 2 weeks behind. So I was a little bit intimidated, but as I say, I survived, I even thrived. Someone who was actually not getting along very well with her own partner came over and helped me in anatomy class, so we forged a lifelong friendship. We're still close friends, and life went on. I share all this just to say, if there's some of you that despite the fact that it's an exciting time and everybody thinks you're super confident and you're going to do it, there may be some of you who may be asking, can I do this? And maybe also, do I want to do this? I suspect that the answer to the first question is yes, but. And let me explain that. As everyone has told you, you are in one of the best veterinary schools in the world. You're in one of the best countries in the world. You have the intellect, you have the resilience, and you have the resources to be here. You have done the work, and you absolutely deserve to be here, and congratulations for that. At the same time, it was Walt Disney who said, whatever I've accomplished in this world, someone has helped me. It's very unlikely you can get through the next 4 years if you try and do it all on your own. Obviously, from who I see in this room, and again, those who are joining us via technology, you don't have to. Reach out, make sure that you think about that, and again, don't try and do it all alone. You've got friends, you've got classmates. Your classmates are going to be incredible resources to you over the next few years. Use them. And maybe just as importantly, don't hesitate to reach out if you think someone else is struggling. It's better to reach out and be rejected than have something happen and you feel that you could have maybe made a difference. The second question, do you want it? And only you can answer that. And maybe nobody's asking that right now. I don't know. Maybe you're still all really excited. It's all too new. And the question maybe comes as the months go on. You get more into the coursework. You start seeing the marks. You work so hard, and maybe it's not coming all that easily for you. And you watch some of your friends and former classmates and colleagues go on to different lives, move on to different experiences. So it's a very personal decision. All I can say is this: as you've already heard, a degree in veterinary medicine is a tremendous tool. You already know people become practitioners, they become researchers. It's also a springboard for business people, politicians, even deputy ministers like myself. So I really would encourage you to stick it out. You've worked so hard to get the title of student veterinarian. Stick around and take the student off the title. So that leads me to my second subject. What does it mean to be a professional veterinarian anyway? And again, that's a question that could be answered many ways. When I think about it, I think about 5 characteristics. One is it's about holding ourselves accountable. Legally, as Jen talked to you about, it's a self-regulated profession. And that means that veterinarians have tremendous, tremendous influence over the standards under which we work and who gets to practice veterinary medicine. Think for a minute about the tremendous trust the public puts in us as a profession to keep those standards high and to deal with the people that are not meeting them. We should never ever take that for granted. That is not a right. That is something that we have to continue to be thoughtful about and continue to earn. Secondly, it is about the animals. And I think you've heard about that today as well. There's many medical professions. Only the veterinarians and the animal health technicians are the ones that think outside the box. As far as I can see, we're the only ones that aren't totally focused on humans. We have a very holistic view of the world. It's about the animal kingdom and the human kingdom. It's both. And that gives us some really unique opportunities as individuals, especially in the field of public health. And again, you've already heard there's tremendous need for the veterinary lens in the public health field. But I think as a profession, we need to really think carefully and keep our bias towards the animal side of things. Being their voice is an important responsibility. Third, it's about taking your turn as a leader. How many of you have already had the change in conversation around those dinner tables, and now people think because you're the student veterinarian, you know all the medical terms. It's not just about, oh, my cat, can you help me with my cat? It's about my doctor told me this, and you're now a translator for them. I see some heads nodding again. So your leader, in terms of having that expertise and that knowledge, is an important role for you. If you end up moving into being a practitioner, moving into the community, wherever you are, you'll be expected to speak at the Rotary Club. You'll be contacted by local media to talk about local issues. I remember the first year being asked to judge the pet show, and I was, okay, whatever. I picked the duck. So there's a whole community leadership piece. You will be looked up at, especially in smaller communities, a real voice for the community. And as you've already heard, the profession expects leadership from you too. So whether it's the Canadian Vet Medical Association, the Ontario Vet Medical Association, the CVO, or any of the species associations, professional leadership is important. You're a voice of knowledge, you're a voice in your community, and you're a voice for the profession. Unfortunately, right now, being a veterinarian is also about struggling. So the fact is that veterinarians are at a higher risk of suicide than most medical professions and the public in general. We deal with depression, alcoholism, and drug dependencies. And you may think that's not the right thing to be talking about on such a happy day, but it's something we need to address. And we are addressing it. And there's tremendous support, again, amongst the professional resources that you've got up here. But the awareness really starts here, and it starts here, and all the people that are watching with you. Be very, very aware of your own mental health. Take it just as seriously as your physical health. Don't be afraid to reach out. There are tremendous resources. You are not alone. And again, don't be afraid to reach out if you're worried about a classmate. My challenge to the class of 2018 is to bend the curve. This is one place where the profession does not want to be above average. And finally, but not the least, being a veterinarian is about a healing point of view. Our perspective is to fix things and to make them better, not to throw things out and not to tear them down. And it's an important worldview because there's so much healing to be done, from cancer to climate change, from parasites to pollinators, from animal welfare to algae on the Great Lakes. The world needs people who want to fix things. I was once told by a former minister, oh, veterinarians are such doers. They don't want to sit and talk about problems. They just want to get on with fixing it. And in my mind, that is absolutely the essence of the profession that you've joined. Personally, I'm very proud to be a part of it, and I hope you are too. Congratulations, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much for those very wise words, Deb. Dr. Elizabeth Stone became the 10th Dean of the Ontario Veterinary College in 2005. Her career as a scholar, professor, researcher, and administrator spans more than 30 years. She emphasizes the importance of collaborative, interdisciplinary approaches to improve the health of animals, humans, and the environment. And under her leadership, OVC has established the University of Guelph Center for Public Health and Zoonoses and the Institute for Comparative Cancer Investigation, a Master's of Public Health program, and chairs in animal welfare, nutrition, communication, and dairy health management. Dr. Stone previously held the positions of professor and head of the Department of Clinical Sciences at North Carolina State University and was on the faculty at the University of Pennsylvania. She received her veterinary degree from the University of California and completed an internship, surgical residency, and Master's of Science in Physiology at the University of Georgia. She also holds a Master's of Public Policy degree from Duke University. And Dr. Stone recently co-edited the book, Sick: Curious Tales of Pests and Parasites We Share with Animals. A very good read. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Stone.
Thank you, Peter, and distinguished guests. We're so pleased that all of you are here, and all of the families and friends, and we also have mentors of students that have come today. And we know that many of you support these students. I also want to recognize there may be a student or two who's here in spite of their parents or in spite of their families. I know sometimes I hear from students that say, well, my dad thought that I should follow in his steps and do whatever, and you can fill in the blank. So some of you got here maybe because of mentors in your community or universities, and many of you are here because of your family and friends. Well, you are on your way to becoming a veterinarian, and it's different than in the 40s and 50s. I have talked with some of our alumni who, particularly after World War II, when the class sizes were 150 or even greater, their first class, one of the professors would get up and say, look to the left, look to the right, one of you will be gone by Christmas. Well, we don't say that anymore. And we will do everything in our power to make sure that you're still here at the holiday and in 4 years from now, because we've invested a tremendous amount in getting you to this stage, and we'll continue to do that, and we know that you'll do the same. You certainly are joining a noble profession, and you've heard that from those of us that have been in it for quite a while. And I will soon ask you to stand and take the veterinarian's oath, which is found on the back page of your program. And you'll have to rumble around in all the things that you were given this morning to find it. And while you're doing that, I'd like to just spend a few minutes just trying to explain what does this oath mean. You're saying it today, and you'll say it again at the time of your convocation, 4 short years from now. It starts off with, as a member of the veterinary medical profession, I solemnly swear that I will use my scientific knowledge and skills for the benefit of society. Well, what is meant by society? I mean, all of you came through science, or almost all of you did, so I mean, this sounds like some kind of social science stuff, but so what is meant by society? Well, it includes the professional organizations that you've heard about, your classmates, those that come before and after you. It also includes your clients, whatever those may be. They may be animal owners, they may be patients that are benefiting from your discoveries, people and animals having safe food, and maybe even Mother Nature herself, you could think of as a client. And then the word society, this really emphasizes the role of veterinarians in the wider world. And as our OVC motto states, the craft of the veterinarian is for the good of the nation, and perhaps we should modify that and say the good of the world. The oath goes on to say, I will strive to promote animal health and welfare. This emphasizes health promotion. It's not all about disease. You'll be very well trained to prevent disease and how to identify disease trends and how to look for the causes of disease. You will also learn about the welfare of animals and how to develop protocols and procedures to improve the welfare. It goes on to say that I will strive to promote and prevent and relieve animal suffering. I will strive to prevent and relieve animal suffering, whether this suffering is caused by the ravages of disease, the loss of habitat from deterioration in the environment, or the neglect of an animal owner. protect the health of the public and environment. Whether you are in private practice, working for the government, or in industry, you will be a respected health professional. And as Dr. Stark mentioned, you need to learn how to make your opinions and your viewpoints be heard. People will be asking you, and what do you think about Ebola and how it should be controlled? And what about the monkeys that transmitted Ebola to begin with? And there's, of course, a whole raft of other diseases that people will ask you about. And you will be asked to advance comparative medical knowledge. The comparative aspects of your education are quite unique. And as you already know, we don't just look at one species and you're immediately comparing dogs with cats, with chickens, with horses, with cows. And you're also looking at populations. So always value your ability to solve problems, not just in the local area, but in a broader area. And you will find solutions because you're learning how to look broadly and to accept multiple dimensions, the multiple dimensions that we see in the ecosystem. So then it goes on to say, I will practice my profession conscientiously, with dignity, and in keeping with the principles of veterinary medical ethics. And as I've learned, and I'm sure many of the people in the audience have learned, that most of the hard decisions you'll make in your life, the decisions about right and wrong, are done when nobody else is looking, and maybe nobody else will even know what your decision might be. You may be the only witness. Your ethical compass will guide you during your days at OVC and as you progress through your career and, of course, the rest of your life. Then the oath says, I will strive continuously to improve my professional knowledge and competence and to maintain the highest professional and ethical standards for myself and the profession. Your learning curve over the next 4 years will be very steep. And when I was graduating, I had a family friend say, oh, now you don't have to study anymore. Now you're a veterinarian. And I think anyone in the audience would say, it's really only just beginning. And you'll be continuing to learn for the rest of your life. Maybe not for multiple choice tests, but you will be continuing to learn. So figuring out how you learn best, how do you do this? And how can you help others to learn? You'll be helping your clients learn, of course, as you explain things to them. The public has ever-increasing expectations for our abilities and our interactions with them. And you're probably already noting this as people say, oh, you're a veterinarian. Well, what about this or that? You'll learn from your instructors. You'll probably learn as much from your classmates, from your clients, from your patients. And you'll be humbled by some of these lessons that you'll be learning. All of us at OVC wish you well, students, faculty, and staff, and we wish you great success at OVC, and if there's anything that we can do for you, be sure and let us know. So now if our new student veterinarians will stand and face the audience, and I'll also ask all veterinarians on the platform and in the audience to stand and join our new colleagues in reading the veterinarian's oath. And I may read slower than you, but we'll try to do this in unison. And so we'll all read together starting right now. As a member of the veterinary medical profession, I solemnly swear that I will use my scientific knowledge and skills for the benefit of society. I will strive to promote animal health and welfare, prevent and relieve animal suffering, protect the health of the public and environment, and advance comparative medical knowledge. I will practice my profession conscientiously with dignity and in keeping with the principles of veterinary medical ethics. I will strive continuously to improve my professional knowledge and competence and to maintain the highest professional and ethical standards for myself and the profession. Thank you very much. You may be seated.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. I wonder if we might take a moment to extend our congratulations to the class as a whole. It's now my pleasure to introduce Ms. Christy Limbrick and Ms. Dominique Monahan, who are newly elected class co-presidents, to speak on behalf of the Ivory Owls. Christy was born and raised in Ottawa, and as a child she went to reptile camp, horseback riding camp, and, wait for it, cow camp. I have never heard of cow camp. Over the years, since she has played curling, soccer, and volleyball, and ran track competitively. In her undergraduate studies, she started volunteering at various horse barns, and she tells us that while other people would go to the spa to relax, she would go to the barn and muck stalls. Her interests are diverse, and in the summer of 2013, she traveled to Costa Rica to work in a sea turtle sanctuary. Dominique grew up in Markham, Ontario. In high school, she played rugby and field hockey and was an alpine ski racer. And she was the senior female athlete of the year in her high school. She also founded her school's animal rights club. She did her undergraduate degree in zoology at the University of Guelph and is the second Monahan to attend OVC, and her sister Meg graduated last year. Ms. Limbrick and Ms. Monahan.
Good morning and welcome distinguished guests, alumni, faculty, family, mentors, and my fellow Ivory Owls to the Class of 2018 welcoming ceremony.
On behalf of our class, we would like to thank the Canadian Veterinary Medical Association, the Ontario Veterinary Medical Association, the College of Veterinarians of Ontario, and the Ontario Veterinary College Alumni Association for their warm welcomes into this great profession.
There are approximately 216 species of owls found on our planet. And just like each of them are different, each and every one of us has had a different journey to these seats in which we find ourselves today. Though our struggles have been different, we have all had many things in common along the way. For years, we have stayed up, studied hard, sacrificed a lot, and sucked up, each one of these being a step towards the great mountain peak that is OVC.
The actual application process began when we were already halfway up the mountain. After we stayed in all Friday nights so we could wake up early Saturday morning to go shovel out stalls, or spent hours cleaning up kennels. After we obsessed over our marks, after we braved the MCAT, and after we crammed as many volunteer hours as we possibly could.
Then we got to spend months, or even years, listening to people say,
"Don't worry, you're gonna get in."
But then there was always that pressing concern. What if I don't get in? Do I need that safety net?
Finally, one momentous day in June, we all got to sit and ponder what the meaning of the word admitted was. Some of us immediately sat down and drafted that long-anticipated Facebook status, while others took screenshots.
You can't take it back. You're stuck with me now, OVC.
Then it changed to accepted, and we all sighed in relief until we realized, now what?
Getting in means spending more days of the week smelling like formaldehyde than not.
It means looking at a histo slide and eventually knowing what a cell is because of a tiny small pink dot.
It means eating more pizza in a few days than is prescribed in a year.
It means getting along with every single person you meet because we're really just slightly varied versions of each other.
It means finding myself in a room full of people that want me to succeed more than my parents do.
It means being in a room full of people that clapped and cheered at the sheer beauty of a semi-lunar valve in a horse heart.
I never expected to look forward to 4 more years of school.
I never expected to move away and find a home.
I never expected to see a whole new side of the University of Guelph and fall in love with it all over again.
I never expected to befriend Miss Salmon and be standing up here with her today.
Together we have faced these challenges and many more. One of these challenges was the never-ending dilemma of mascot selection. We were left with yellow and orange to choose from. Just to be different, we decided to ignore colors completely and go with white.
Actually, Dom, it's ivory, that's off-white actually, so just to clarify. Yeah.
The idea of veterinary school is the most daunting task that we have ever faced.
It's the new mountain in front of us.
But with the help of our wonderful Parliament of Owls, we will soar towards that mountain peak as one and be more successful than we could ever have imagined.
The truth is, we never would have made it here without help. We would like all our owls to take a moment, stand up, turn, face your parents, and let's flap those wings and thanks. You may be seated.
Wait. Now, parents, family, friends, colleagues, mentors, you now get to sit back and watch us soar. Please join us in welcoming the Ivory Owls, class of 2018.
Thank you very much, Christy and Don. This brings our professional welcome ceremony to a close. However, we hope you will stay with us and attend the special talks we've arranged for you at OVC immediately following this ceremony. They will illustrate fascinating and informative aspects of the societal impact of veterinary medicine. And they are listed in the one page that you have with your program. Please look for the student volunteers with the bright yellow shirts and your particular animal group sign after you exit the hall, so they can bring you to your starting location where you can first eat your lunch. And those lunches, including one for your student veterinarian, please do not forget to take one for them, can be picked up outside on the plaza just outside this building. The class is asked to assemble on the front steps of OVC for a photograph and join their guests at the location of their first talk. We will now be piped from the hall by Mr. Irving in this order: the platform party, the class, and then the members of the audience. And I thank you once more for your attendance here today.